Hey, welcome back.
Mark Norman's here.
Hey.
Hey. Take a seat. You have to sit in front of the microphone with a condom on.
Yeah, hey, I never wear them.
Now you are.
It's the only time
you're wearing a mic condom.
A condom on the mic. That's what.
Welcome back to the
Yes.
show, man. I think
Hey.
you were here. When was the last time you were here? Was it the beginning of the year?
February, back when things were normal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back when things were normal, and then just as you left,
The world ended.
the world ended.
Yeah, you should have stuck around.
I know. At least I got one St. Louis in before it all
Yeah. Yeah, were we one of your last shows before
Yeah.
everything
I think
hit?
So, yeah, I taped a special in L.A., then I came here and had a fun time, and then, the whole planet queefed.
Is that what we're calling it?
I don't know anymore. It's I thought this whole thing would last 2 weeks, and
Nah.
here I am,
Walking in with a mask on and
Yeah.
having a mic condom on. Man,
It's wild.
times have changed.
But then some places are freewheeling. You go to Florida and everybody's, farting in the wind. And then you go to, L.A. and everything's shut down. And you go to Texas and everybody's banging. So it's all
Yeah.
over the road.
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle here.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're bi.
Yeah. We're cool. We're
Yeah.
cautious, but we're cool.
Yeah, we
Right.
take kind of the best parts of everything. here.
That's the way to do it.
Mark Norman is at Helium Comedy Club tonight, 7:30, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, 7:30 and 10 o'clock. You're talking about your YouTube special,
Yes, sir.
which I watched yesterday. And, man, 3.3 million views. Look at this guy.
Damn.
Look
Damn,
at this
dude.
guy. I'm looking at him.
Hey, thanks. Turns out a pandemic, not a bad time to put out content.
Yeah.
People are
point.
cooped up. They need something. We've all seen Ozark 14 times, so might as well try this comedy show.
Yeah, so is it true that you shopped it around to Netflix and all those other, streaming outlets? Like, screw it, I'm just going to put it out myself.
That's the funny thing. I get all these people going, hey, you're a man of the people. Thanks for making it free. You're a good egg. And I'm like, no, I just got rejected by every single human being. I'm a failure, So I tried Netflix. I tried Hulu. I tried Amazon. You name it. Comedy Central, whatever. And they all said, thanks, but no thanks. And I said, all right, I already shot it. I spent thousands of dollars. Throw the puppy up on the free site. And people watched it, so
But now
joke's
you
on
could take this. Now you could take these numbers and go, see, you jerks.
I actually did do that, and I got a couple nice offers, but still nothing is open, so I can't really recoup. But it's out there.
You took the gamble, though. You took the gamble, and it's going to pay off.
It's going to pay off, I think. But boy, it was scary. It was a real blow to the ego and. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
I worked so hard on this years of honing it, and then. But hey, look at Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai went to YouTube. Nobody wanted it. So you're gonna make a reboot of Cobra Kai through the bully's eyes? Get out of here! What are you, an idiot? And then now it's number 1 on Netflix.
Yeah. See, they took the gamble, paid off.
Yes.
And now 3.3 million views, and now they're going to be knocking down your door.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They're hitting the doorbell and running, basically.
I see you on the ring. I see you, Netflix.
Yes. By the way, that's got to hurt the knock and run. That's got to hurt the poo flaming on the porch.
Yeah.
Those days are over. The egg in the house.
Dude, we used
Forget
to
about
do ringing and running all the time.
Yeah, but now you're
Yeah.
just giving people an opportunity to make money with their viral video of you running away.
Oh,
Yeah.
good point.
We would terrorize this one house in my neighborhood, and they would call the cops, and then we'd hide in the bushes and watch the cops roll by and go, tee.
It's tough to be a peeping Tom nowadays, too.
Ooh, you got that right.
Yeah.
He would know.
Yeah.
You just can't store the ladder in the yard, Jeff.
You can't actually leave the step stool under the window of the next door neighbor's house anymore. You have to bring it back with you. Yeah.
Well, the special's called Out to Lunch. It's terrific,
Thank you, sir.
and I recommend everybody watch it for free.
You got that right.
For free. I got stuck in a Mark Norman YouTube vortex yesterday.
I'll take it. Hey, thanks.
And it was you on Something's Burning with Bert Kreischer.
Yes.
So, and it's Bert Kreischer, and we've had Bert on the show before, who was wonderful. So he's got like a YouTube cooking show. So is it his kitchen or is it somebody else's kitchen?
He gets an Airbnb in Brooklyn, and he books all these fun comics. And it's obviously pre-pandemic. He's got no mask, no gloves. He's coughing. He's spitting all over the place. He's an alcoholic. He's shirtless. It's fun.
It's hilarious because you watch all these Food Network shows, and it's all these prim and proper
Very
cooks,
buttoned up.
Very buttoned up. And Bert's got stains on his shirt.
Yes, he's Rachel Gay.
He's doing the cooking show with stains on his shirt and has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And the jokes are offensive and horrible, and it's a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure you missed that kind of stuff, man. Getting together with the comics. And
That's the best. That's the number 2 best part of being a comedian is the hanging with comics.
Well, I was watching that comedy store special on Showtime.
Oh, how is that?
It's great. They have one episode out now.
All right, I can't wait to check it out.
And the Comedy Store is this legendary place in Los Angeles. I mean, so many great comics, great people that I forgot were even comics. Like Michael Keaton got his start at the Comedy Store doing it. The Michael Keaton got his start at the Comedy Store. And they brought all these people in for interviews. And I think it's a 3 or 4-parter, but the first part was on Showtime, I think, last weekend.
This is the one you were just telling me about today.
Off the air, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That sounds fantastic. I love that stuff.
That's the cool thing about those old days. I mean, comedy used to have this rock star-y kind of vibe. Everybody's on blow. They're all banging in the green room. They're all, groupies and this and that. And I feel like those days are over. But
yeah.
They had a hell of a run.
You got to it too late.
Yeah.
You got in too late.
Yeah, now it's hey, this tweet is problematic, and we're going to put it up on the news, and you have to apologize, and you lose your gig at the Oscars. So it's really the penis is flaccid. We'll say
it'll get back up there, man.
Maybe it just seems
this world needs a dose of Viagra.
Just needs a little fluff.
It does. Give me some Blue Chew, folks. But
we need some of that.
It just sucks because we're in a pandemic. We got real problems. People are dying. Global warming, anal, you name it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Big problem.
That order too.
It's weird. People don't realize that being upset by a joke is pretty privileged. That's a darn good life. If we got to go back 10 years to find a Kevin Hart thing, that means we're doing great.
Yeah, those are your only problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in that Comedy Store special, I mean, it was like Jay Leno and Letterman and Michael Keaton, and I'm talking about that. And Jay Leno was talking about how he got to California, he didn't have a place to live, literally slept on the steps in the back of the place. And when you started in comedy, was it living like that too? Was it a wing and a prayer? Was it, all right, we're going to try this out and see if it works. Maybe I'll make some money.
It wasn't sunny Los Angeles, so I got mugged. I lived in Brooklyn in New York, and I got mugged, and we got bed bugs. My landlord died of AIDS, which is not fun when I had no heat, we had no hot water, and I can't complain to the guy with AIDS.
Yeah.
How's that going to go? Like, hey, buddy, there's no hot water. He's like, I got no T cells.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, all right, carry on. He died a week later, but hell of a guy. Thanks, Jorge. Shout out. He was a cute little gay Puerto Rican. But, it was dicey. But it helped that you were 23. It helped that I was a blackout drunk, and I had a dream.
Mm-hmm. Look at you now.
There you go.
Oh, you know what?
St.
And
Louis.
because of that, I'm going to watch the YouTube thing for free, so I pulled $1 out if you like that. Are you sure? No?
Come on. I feel bad. I'm going to give this to a hobo.
Yeah, dude. That's where I got it, too. So.
Thanks.
All the hobos hanging out outside the station here.
That's them.
But I love St. Louis. It's a throwback here. You got. It's kind of like the 50s. You got bowling alleys and diners and segregation. Good times.
Yes. All that stuff. Yes. Welcome back.
Yes, it's fun. I went to
None
the
of that's
Arts,
changed. Don't worry. It's
saw
still
some
here.
heroin. Yeah. It's
Good. Well, I mean, how'd you spend your time away from the stage? I mean, were you sitting at home? Stewing. What made you decide to go back on the road again?
Well, comics, we're hustlers. We're like sewer rats. We got to make hay while the sun's shining. And if there's no hay to be made, we just start going inward. We start gnawing our own arm off. So you got to make a video. You got to write sketches. You got to do more podcasts. You got to start a podcast. And now I'm doing all these outdoor shows in New York. I'm doing parks and roofs and fields and parking lots. And then whatever club will have me, I'll fly over there.
Yeah, I know Helium's doing their best to make sure everybody's socially distanced.
Yes.
And it's the crowd capacity, and you got to wear a mask, and they're doing their best. But I know Bert Kreischer's coming here doing a drive-in thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At one of the drive-in movie theaters.
That's another move, the drive-in thing. And everybody made fun of Bert. Bert is an innovator. He had the drive-in idea. Everybody said, "What are you, crazy?" And now everybody's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, would you consider doing that? That'd be awesome.
I would, but I'm not a draw. Bert's a big, fat booze bag draw. So,
Everybody in the room was wondering what was coming after Big Fat. Just so you know.
I already said alcoholic. I had to mix it up. But,
Big fat booze bag.
He's Jim Gaffigan. All these guys can really pull people in. Plus, you're in your car, you're honking, you're flashing lights. If you really kill, you hit the wipers. I don't know. I like a real audience. I got to say.
Were you doing like routines on YouTube? I know Ben Bailey's doing.
Is he?
Yeah, Ben Bailey. I think 2 or 3 times a week does.
Dang.
I guess he's got a little setup in his wherever he is.
Got that cash cab scratch.
Cash.
Yeah.
And I guess he's doing like YouTube stand up on Twitter and on Instagram. And
Hey, whatever.
like
it
to no
takes.
audience. I mean, people watching.
Oh yeah. I'm
But-
used to the no audience, but that's what I'm doing. I'm going out and showing. I did this thing on YouTube. I don't know if you saw it, called Park Normand, and I'm in a Central Park talking to these people on beach towels, on the grass, just doing my act, bombing. I got bit by a hornet, and I got a bird crapped on me, and it's horrible. I got sun cancer, but that's what you got to do, and it's fun. People like seeing the failure. People like seeing the bad parts of comedy, because all you see on Netflix is the theater with the chandelier and the killing and the leather jacket. Comedy's gritty. It's ugly, and that's kind of what I'm showing people.
Do you remember the first time you bombed?
Ever?
Yeah.
Oh, it was probably the first 3 years.
I mean, but the first time you got on, I'm sure the first time you got on stage, you did great.
No, well, I'm different. I bombed horribly, and I was in a blackout, and I ran the light, and they had to pull me off stage.
Really?
Yeah, I was a mess.
Running the light is so they show a light, get off stage.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't know what that was. I never did it, so I didn't know all the jargon and all the inside outs. So the guy was like waving a light at me, and I'm waving back. Like, hey,
He's really enjoying this.
yeah. And then they cut the mic on me because I was going too long.
What do you think it was like at a concert where they put the lighters in the air?
Yeah, he's the only one liking this.
That guy
Killing
loves me.
with this one guy, and then they cut the mic on me. So now I'm like, oh, I guess the mic went out. So now I'm yelling my bad
Oh
jokes.
no!
And then eventually he's on the side of the stage going, get, and I was like, oh, okay, and I got off.
Wow.
And how old were you?
I was 21, 22.
Huh?
Big drunk. I mean, I'm from New Orleans, so that's what you do.
Ah,
And I was
yeah,
terrified.
Kind of
That's
had
what you
to.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then,
the whole place smells like a wet basement.
yes, that's true. But then Katrina made it even worse. But then I just got into comedy, and I had nothing going on. Remember those days? Like, you guys probably had radio and a love for, this medium.
Sure.
But back then, I just was a fail out of college guy. I went to 3 different colleges. I kept failing and just had nothing going on. And it was beer pong and poker nights.
How disappointed were your parents?
Oh, they hated me. I was the black sheep, African-American sheep. And they just hated, because they're smart. My brother's a genius. They're successful lawyers. And I had nothing going on. We had a big house with a hot tub. I lived with 5 guys. We were just trying to get laid and trying to get sloppy.
Do you think your parents had discussions like, what are we going to do with Mark?
Oh,
What are we going to do with this guy?
Where did we fail with Mark?
yes.
That's
They had those in front of me. It was bad. It was bad. But they're not funny. None of them have any jokes or humorous bone in their bodies. So I knew I had that different than them. But just making money with comedy, like you'd see Steve Martin or Jerry Seinfeld, you're like, I could never do that. I mean, that's a whole nother, that's like being an astronaut.
Not with that attitude, am I right?
I guess, but it's ironic because the desperation is what got me to do it. Because I'm like, well, what else? I got nothing else to lose. I might as well go all in.
I always
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that. I tell kids, don't have a backup plan.
Yes.
Don't have a backup plan because then you will rely on that when things aren't going right.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Man, when you have no backup plan, you got to do whatever it takes
You got
to
that
make
right.
it work.
So when you start to piece it together, and obviously years ago you started to piece it together and started going years ago. Like, do your parents kind of come around? Do you have that moment, or do you have that memory where you're like, oh, that's what respect looks like?
A little. It took probably 6 years. I got on Conan. After like 6 or 7 years of doing it, I moved to New York. I got mugged, the whole thing, poor in New York, asking to borrow money, crying, moving furniture, janitor, busboy, all that. And then I finally got on Conan, and they were like, and they could show their friends.
Right.
And they could share the link and
We
all that.
Yeah, they
supported
need
him
something-
all
Yeah.
along.
He's on Conan, Mark. The busboy is on
Yes.
Conan.
They needed something tangible to show their friends.
Yeah,
That's what it took.
That's what it takes.
So from there, were they fans and coming to shows or anything like that?
I
or-
don't know about fans, and they didn't
Just
come to
proud
the
of you,
shows.
at least.
They were just like, oh, this is kind of real now.
Yeah.
Even though Conan pays $1,100, and that's in New York, that's gone in 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
So you didn't make it. but it's a stepping stone and it's something so people can see.
Right.
But I can't tell you how many millions of conversations at the family reunions, at Thanksgiving. Why don't you do Letterman? Have you met Dane Cook? What's Jerry Seinfeld like? You're like, I'm not anywhere near that, you crazy psycho. But they're down in Baton Rouge.
Why
Louisiana.
don't you do Letterman?
Yeah.
Like you turned it down so many times.
know.
What are
There's a
you
lot of
thinking?
You should get on Comedy Central. That would really help you. Yeah, that's a great
Well, actually, you
hadn't thought of that,
business
Mom.
advice. Yeah.
well, you did something in front of Amy Schumer, and Amy Schumer saw you and kind of took you under her wing, would you say?
That was a helpful thing. That was huge. Yeah, for Amy for years. I watched her go from, half-filled clubs to Carnegie Hall to the Garden to a TV show to movies.
And she gave you work along the way?
Yeah. Bought an apartment from her. I mean, she private jet, all that stuff. So she was very generous, very giving, very loyal, good egg. Just beat the system stand-up wise. Most people do it 20 years. They kind of start getting a TV thing, whatever. She just said, I'm doing it my own way, and made a ton of money and a ton of success.
Yeah, she's got an amazing story. Now she's got a cooking show too with her husband.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you were mugged in New York, huh?
Many times.
Many times. I was mugged once when I was in New York.
Oh yeah, let's
Once.
hear it.
Oh, dude, it's the worst.
Lay it
I
on.
lived. So where you lived in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
All right. So I lived in Washington Heights.
Oh,
So 170th Street.
So that's good, right? When you go, ooh.
A lot of rice and beans.
Oh yeah, it's a little Dominica. That's what they call it.
Yes.
So all Dominicans lived in Washington Heights. So it was me and my roommate. I was 20 years old, and our apartment was actually a big apartment.
Yeah.
And we didn't pay much for it.
Well, nobody wants to live up there.
Yeah, we were on the first floor. We were on the first floor, and there were bars in the window, and it was not a great neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And parking in New York City is terrible. You don't have a car. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't have a car.
This is why you're so psycho about parking in the Midwest, right? Like you won't go to a Tool show because of possibly the parking. Is that the reason why? Because you
That's
grew up in
right.
New York? Yeah. Makes sense now.
Yeah, I won't go to a concert if parking's going to be crappy.
Okay.
We hear about it every time it comes around. What? Who's coming to town?
I've
Ooh,
gone to a
terrible
concert
parking.
venue,
Ew,
circled,
how's the
and went, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you molested in a parking lot? What happened?
I won't stand for it. I do not like looking for parking.
What about Uber? Maybe you could Uber and Uber home.
Now I'll do that.
Now it's a different
story. But so at this time, I was dating a woman who's now my wife, and she brought her car down. I'm like, I will park your car. I'll drop you off at the front of the apartment building. Wait for me. I'll drive around, because you'd have to drive around waiting for
Right.
somebody to pull out. And if you see like taillights, you go, oh, there we
Yeah.
go, and you stalk them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you must have really liked this gal if you're willing to help park.
Yeah, so I found a spot about 3 or 4 blocks away.
Aha.
So I had my cell phone, my radio station issued cell phone. And I called her up. I said, hey, babe. This was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, babe, I found a parking spot. I'm on my way. I was walking down Haven Avenue. And I wasn't paying attention. 2 gentlemen were walking up on the same side of the street. I wasn't paying attention. One of them put their shoulder down into my chest.
Ooh.
Knocked me into an alleyway.
Whoa.
Phone goes flying. Other guy jumps on top of me, and he's got his knees on my shoulders.
Wow.
Like, like an older brother would do. Like,
Yes.
kind of slap you around.
These guys are pros.
Yeah.
Or gay.
Not their first one.
So a dude now has a knife to my throat.
Yeah.
And he goes, give me your stuff. He took the cell phone, and give me your wallet. All right, I had $60 in my wallet. I'm like, dude, I'll give you the money. Please don't take my driver's license. I don't want to go to the DMV.
I get it.
I don't want to go to the DMV. Please don't. You can take everything,
Yeah.
but don't take my driver's license. Bastard took my driver's license.
What a psycho. What's he going to do with that? Maybe sell it to
No
some
idea.
punk kid?
No idea. So they take my stuff. They get off me. They run one way. I run the other way towards my apartment.
To call the popo.
Well, funny you say that, because I guess as I was running, somebody had called the popo already, saying there was a man with a gun running down the street.
Ooh. That was a separate incident.
Undercover police officer in an unmarked car pulls up on the sidewalk, throws the spotlight on me. I'm up against a brick wall with my hands up. This guy jumps out of the car, gun drawn. Get up against the wall. I'm like, I was just robbed.
Yes. And?
And he goes, get in the car.
Yeah! Right along.
Get in the car. So I'm like, I got to go. Can he swing by my apartment? Because my girlfriend thinks I'm dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, screw her.
So we pull up, and she's sitting on the front stoop crying. Because she now sees lights. And I pull up at a cop car and go, okay, it was just that. So now the police officer's yelling at me for living in that neighborhood.
What year is this?
This is 2001.
Oh, it was still dicey then.
Was it a smart idea to leave her in front of the place while you disappeared in a car, though, if it was that bad of a neighborhood?
She went inside.
She is a badass, too, though.
She went inside, and she wanted coming back out.
Oh, she was inside. Okay,
listen,
gotcha.
we were young. We'd not a care in the world. I didn't care if I lived in a bad neighborhood.
Right.
It was cheap rent.
Right. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
You said it happened multiple times to you?
3 in a year.
Oh my!
But again, I was a blackout drunk alcoholic. I was a sitting duck. I mean, I was a mark. No pun intended. I mean, I was bouncing off the walls every night at 4 a.m. Like, I was that guy. So it was, I would have mugged me.
Right.
Yeah. Well, to finish my
You
story.
may have one of those guys.
Yeah.
So this guy's yelling, the police officer's yelling at me for living there. And I go, it's cheap rent. What do you want from me? I can't afford anything else. He goes, let's drive around to go see if we could find these guys that mugged you. I'm like, I really didn't get a good look. He goes, we're just going to drive around.
Okay.
So now we go into one of the parks. I think it's Inwood Park up there.
Oh, N-word Park. That's a tough one.
And we're driving through the park, and there's all these gangs there.
Yeah.
And we're pulling up to these groups of people.
Oh, my Lord.
And he's putting the spotlight on, and he goes, anybody look familiar? I go, no. And we go drive, and we pull up to another group of guys standing around and puts the spotlight on.
How uncomfortable is this?
And I'm sitting in the back.
Oh, and you're
after just being robbed.
With the cop. Oh, man, this is too much.
And we pull up to one group, and I go, I don't know, maybe. And he goes, good enough. Everybody up against the car.
Oh, man.
Crazy, huh?
And they could see clearly me.
Yeah.
Oh, street justice.
Clearly.
And,
Wow.
And somebody was yelling out his address the entire time.
Yeah.
It was just pile on Liz.
He'd pat him down and let him go.
Huh.
Man.
Was it him, you think?
No.
Oh, damn.
So, from then on, I was kind of living in fear up there.
Yeah.
And I wound up going to the DMV and getting a driver's license. But the story ends with this.
Oh.
The story ends with this. About 3-4 months later, there's a knock at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a guy I don't recognize. Mm-hmm. I open up the door, and he holds up my driver's license. And he goes, I found this in Brooklyn.
Whoa.
And he came all the way.
Whoa.
All the way to give it back to me.
What
Crazy,
a
huh?
mensch.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I said,
That's real cool.
He wouldn't even give me a reward, though, for it.
And I said, man, I already went to the DMV.
I got a backup, I guess.
Yeah, he let me keep it. It was very nice.
Yeah, but it's a lesson. Head on a swivel, man.
You've said that to me several times.
Man, see, that's funny because the driver's license thing, when I got mugged in Hell's Kitchen, again, my fault, basically. I'm a victim blamer. But they took my wallet, my joke book, my pen, my keys, my phone. I mean, everything. They took everything. They took my joke book. What are you doing to me, man?
They took your joke. What are you going to do with that?
I guess some guy's on a stoop killing.
All right, Mark Norman is here. He's at Helium Comedy Club tonight, 7:30, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, 7:30 and 10 o'clock. You can stick around for a couple minutes, right?
Sure, yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. We got our very own King Scott in the other room. He's going to tell you some jokes, if that's okay.
Sure.
And I want you to critique.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah.
Can I be honest or should I sugarcoat?
Oh,
100% honest.
Do not sugarcoat a thing.
All right.
All right, so King Scott's going to tell some jokes.
Yeah, when's the last time you sugarcoated anyway? That's not your style.
No, but I would kid gloves.
No, we don't need any of that.
No, please.
Okay.
No. Please, no kid gloves. Comedian Mark Norman is here.
Hey.
He's at the Helium Comedy Club tonight. 2 shows, 7:30, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, 7:30 and 10 o'clock. Actually making your return appearance to the Riz Show. You were here, and it was February, but it seems like forever ago.
It does. There was one Kobe ago.
That was one Kobe ago. Wow. And because this is your second time on the show, you get a very special gift.
Ooh, is it better than this coffee?
That coffee is horrific,
Everything
isn't
is
it?
better than that
So
coffee.
bad.
That coffee is
We went from 3 different kinds of Starbucks and a couple other things. Pandemic, Folgers.
Is it better than
Folgers
this coffee?
pre-measured out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pre-measured out pre-COVID. That was put in a package in 2018.
And by the way, to answer your question, no, it's not better than
we talked about how people that make that in the office, there's no way they're drinking that crap.
No.
In the office of that building where they're making it, they're not drinking that. It's that bad.
Is that Folgers? They should be ashamed of themselves.
They
Honestly,
should.
with putting out that kind of product.
This is
Shame.
atrocious.
It is atrocious. And my apologies.
No, I appreciate
Sorry,
it.
it's the best we got.
But you do get the official Riz Show Second Timers Club certificate.
Whoa, look at that.
We're gonna need the frame back.
Oh, I can't take this. This
No,
is
you
too
can
nice.
take the paper.
You can take the paper. We'll take the frame back. But
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah, I can't fly with this. This is a hazard.
Second
you.
Timers Club.
Look at that. You even got the Billy Madison Rizzuto.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, you're only the second person to notice that.
Oh, this is very nice. Thank you, guys.
You got
Thank
it,
you.
man.
Those are
Oh,
nice.
thank you, sir.
We'll take the frame back, and you get to throw
Beautiful.
the certificate out when you leave here.
No, I'll keep it. I'll
there's
keep
a recycling.
Well,
I'll
there
show
are
you.
many
It's
members
in
to
the
the Second Timers Club, right?
kitchen. There's many.
Many members. Like, you're now in the company of
Ben Bailey is a 5-time.
fiver.
Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer's a 5-timer.
Who else we got? Well, who's the last one we just?
Come
had?
on, Scott.
Let's see here.
Sinbad is
Sinbad.
Ooh, thank you.
Number
Chris
2.
Catan.
Chris Catan. That's
Oh,
right.
Yeah, that's a good
Quit
one.
bragging.
Although he only remembers being here once.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fact.
He's a tough nut to crack. That
So
Catan.
we are going to turn the tables and tell you jokes now.
All
Actually,
right.
the guy in the booth over there, the redhead, is going to tell you jokes.
All right, a ginger.
That's right.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You're making fun of him.
That's
Keep
why there's
that
a
in
wall
mind.
in between us.
Yeah, gross.
And Mark, mind you, these are all timely and topical.
Oh, and you wrote these.
These are the most funny jokes on the planet.
Ripped from the headlines.
Wait, you didn't steal this from a meme account or?
No, come on.
All
These
right.
are all.
counts.
Yes,
I
these-
respect that.
These
Jokes
are all
hard to write.
jokes. Here we go.
Okay.
These are all jokes. Today.
Right, King Scott. Here we go.
Cardi B turns 28 on Sunday. Whatever you get her for her birthday, make sure it's extra absorbent. I hear the party's going to be lit, so bring a mop and a bucket.
Get it
I
with
get
the
WAP.
with the WAP stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott, you were supposed to pause after that first part, but pause for applause. But okay.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to have an applause. That'd be the first one.
The drummers had a lot of coffee.
Yes.
Can anything be lit with all that moisture?
Nah.
Come on.
See, look at that.
I'm punching up.
Yeah. That's good. Tyler, the creator, is encouraging Americans to vote, but not to create. He has that covered.
All right. That was cute.
That was cute. Brad and Angelina's custody battle is heating up. Fortunately, Brad has the support of millions of people, and those are just his kids.
Yeah, that was a great
That's a
joke.
good one, huh?
I feel like I'm watching a Make-A-Wish.
Oh man.
James
I'd like to apologize now because I'm going to steal that someday.
Dang
Just so
it,
you know.
dang
Thank
it.
you.
James Vanderbeek is moving out of L.A. He's sad to go, but thanks to the Century 21 lady, it's nice to have an agent finally return his calls.
That's pretty good.
CableTV.com is going to pay someone $1,000 to watch horror films for 24 hours straight, or for someone who's really brave, $10,000 to watch cable news.
Boy, now that's
The news. Yeah, it's scary.
Robert Cool Bell of Cool and the Gang turned 70 yesterday. These days, he sings Celebration once the Metamucil kicks in.
Go.
Come on, man. That's gold right there. Come on, man. Come on.
He's got momentum.
A Nazi shipwreck was found off the coast of Poland. Meanwhile, a Nazi train wreck can be found in a rerun of Lethal Weapon tonight on TBS.
I don't know the movie that
I'm not
well.
with it. Oh, no.
It's Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson was in Lethal Weapon.
Oh, that's
good.
vicious.
That's good. Hey, you didn't know what Mel Gibson was in
That
Lethal
was
Weapon?
vicious.
No,
Yeah.
I knew that. I thought it was a reference in the movie. Like
No,
a specific scene, but that's on me. That's
you know,
on
the
me.
anti-Semitic stuff of Mel
Yes,
Gibson.
that's why when I became a fan. Jokes, everybody. You have to tell people
Hang
I'm
on.
joking now.
There we go. The FBI arrested 13 members of a domestic terrorist group for plotting to kidnap a Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. In the process, they took the title from the Detroit Tigers as the most embarrassing group of guys in Michigan.
I
I stumbled.
Delivery was
That was like a joke in sports altogether.
Right.
Where you went there.
Sorry, buddy.
Great stuff. Great
Thank
job.
you.
Oh,
Is that good?
one more.
Oh,
and
great.
finally,
We got a closer.
Ford. This is the best one.
I can't wait.
And finally, Ford will discontinue the Mustang Shelby GT350, but its legacy will live on whenever you see a guy holding up a sign that says, "I have a small penis."
Ooh, you got to end with the dirty. Well done, sir.
Thank you. May the goo be with you.
If you were to grade it, I mean,
And also with goo.
Oh, if I would grade it, I
you were
would
to
give
grade it-
that. And look, we interrupted. He was on the clock, so that was a lot of pressure. So I'm going to give that a B.
whoa!
Best grade ever.
Thank you.
Whoa!
And you wrote those yourself?
They were written.
A human did write them. Yeah.
they were on paper.
I was hoping he was at home in his tiny apartment, naked, jotting that down.
Have you written jokes for people, like sold your jokes?
Yes.
And watching that Comedy Store special, I didn't realize how much of a thing that is.
Oh yeah, especially back in the day. It's less prominent now, but I've written for award shows and roasts and stuff like that. But back then, people wrote your whole act.
So J.J. Walker, who was, I guess, what they said that he was the first big star coming out of the Comedy Store. J.J. Walker, Dynamite.
Yeah.
His writing team was Jay Leno, David Letterman, and somebody else really famous.
Johnny Carson. Apparently, he only gets talk show hosts.
Somebody like really, and
Craig
wrote
Ferguson.
his whole act.
Yeah, I believe it. He was.
Really?
If you got charisma, you're charming, you got it, but you can't write. You got to hire people.
Yeah,
Yeah, same for musicians.
It happens.
that's true. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, musicians don't.
It's all the same game.
Yeah.
It's using different brushes, but it's all the same. It's all the same paint.
You need the pretty face. You need the good vehicle. Letterman, as much as we all love him, he's not exactly lighting up a comedy stage. He's got glasses, a buck teeth. He's got a weird balding hair, and he's a little dry.
Yeah.
So you need a little Jimmy every now and then to spice it up.
Yeah, but it was crazy watching, that special. And Jimmy J.J. Walker, they said the first star come out of the comedy Store, and because he got Good Times.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say, where'd the money come from if he was just coming up? But it was from Good Times Money that he had the money?
I guess he was a stand-up and then got Good Times.
Okay, so when is he paying Letterman and everybody to write him
in the
jokes?
70s,
After his Good Times
as
Money.
it's all going on.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Okay.
because you got to have an act.
Right.
You go, Jimmy Walker's going to be at the arena. He's got to have an act.
Yeah. Huh. So
You gotta buy it.
you're saying people just don't sell jokes as much anymore?
No, you get hired to write for stuff, but I don't think people are selling it like that anymore. Because if people can write a joke now, they'll just keep for themselves and go meme, go TikTok,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
YouTube.
You're a TikToker, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, me and all my little lady friends get together and do a synchronized shuffle.
And you wrote for award shows too? What did you write for?
MTV, the Emmys, I wrote for the Bieber roast. A lot of TV stuff.
I would imagine he could knock out a roast pretty
Love
good.
a roast.
Yeah.
Love a roast.
Do you call your friends and go, hey, man, the fourth joke you're going to hear is mine?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I always
I would do the
that.
same thing.
I got a joke on the Emmys with Gervais, and that felt really good.
Do you remember what it was?
I don't want to say it.
Man, because I'm going through
Is it because of content you don't want to say?
No,
that?
because you don't want to kind of steal it from, like,
Yeah, yeah.
I see what you're saying. I see. You don't want to take ownership of it.
Yeah, well, do you remember the first joke you
congrats.
sold?
Yes.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
sold a batch of jokes when I was brand new to Larry the Cable Guy. And apparently I was like, these are tweets, maybe. And I sold them to him, and he's like, I'm doing a roast of, what's a tater salad, Ron White, and I'll
Okay.
take these and maybe I can use them. But he was so rich that he gave me $1,500 for 5 jokes, which was
Whoa.
insane money at the time. And they were bad jokes. It was like, my girlfriend's hot, but it's a dry heat. Or, isn't it weird that we grade boobs with letters? Or boobs are the opposite of grades at school. A is the worst. Stuff like that. And they were bad jokes, but he bought them all.
$1,500?
Yeah, we had the
That's
same
amazing.
agent, apparently. And, yeah. So,
Man, that's pretty awesome.
Well, he's saying
Pretty
like
cool.
you write jokes kind of like tweets, and you are a phenomenal Twitter follow. So Mark Norm,
thank you.
Mark Norm on Twitter, and if you read his tweets are all basically one-liners.
They're all
Like you're
one-liners.
all like what you're talking about. These sold jokes are all your whole Twitter.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. But I'm a comedian, so I figure, hey, if you're going to follow me, I better bring the yucks. But all these other comics are on going, Penn sucks. You're like, well, where's the funny?
Right.
You're a comedian.
Yeah.
I get it. You can do whatever you want with your Twitter, but like,
that's not what I go there for.
That's not what I go there for. And I assume if you're following me, I have low self-esteem that you follow me because of some comedic angle, you know. Yeah. You follow a plumber, you want to hear about pipes.
You know who's
I don't plumb. I just follow a plumber.
Who's a good Twitter follow who's been on this show is Emo Phillips.
He's amazing.
Emo Phillips,
brilliant.
Dad joke.
Every one of his things,
joke.
every one of his tweets is funny.
Yeah. Brilliant guy.
Yeah.
Oh, my
joke
gosh.
mind. He's just a savant joke level.
When he was here, remember he had a CD and he wanted me to play a track off the CD and he gave me the CD. And I'm like, oh, cool, man, I get to keep the CD. And I wanted the CD back.
Yeah.
Another guy that...
He almost went like, all right.
That's great.
Okay.
But he let you keep the funny memories.
Yes.
You just had to give
Another
it
guy that lives like that, thinks like that, and tweets like that is Harlan Williams.
Oh, Harlan Williams.
Very
Very
funny.
Very funny.
Yeah. Was that you?
That was a tweet.
All right, real quick, we got Moon here. We got Mark Norman here. We're going to do some sports.
All right.
Which that's why we had you in, for sports.
Yeah, I like sports. I just don't follow.
Well, now you do. Sports brought to you by Amco Ranger, protecting people and property from pests since 1965. Got to talk about Thursday Night Football. Odd ending last night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a little time remaining in the game, trailing the Bears 20-19. That's 1 point. 1 point down there, Jeff. Tom Brady threw an incomplete pass, turned to his sideline, holding 4 fingers up like they were going to go into fourth down, but they weren't. That play was it. Here's how it sounded with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman at the mic.
4th down and 5. Brady, pass is broken up, incomplete, and the Chicago Bears are going to take over.
I don't know if Brady, I think the way Brady reacted and hold up his foot, I think he thought it was 3rd down.
Whoops. Brady's still standing out there. But that's 4th down, and it's Chicago's ball. And Brady's finally being told that's it.
Yeah, it looks like Brady lost it down.
Yeah, you screwed us all, Tom.
He thought he was still in New England, so he could
That's
just
right.
cheat and do another down.
Yeah, Bears beat the Bucks 2019. The Bears moved 4-1 on the year, and the Bucks fall to 3-2. All of us had the Bucks, so we're all down. And I think that everybody over at the Fast Lane had the Bucks as well. So we're still even. Thank goodness. Turns out Houston Astros can still win even when they're not cheating because they have no punishment. They beat the Oakland A's yesterday 11-6 to advance to the American League Championship Series. Houston won the series 3-1. They'll play the winner of the Yankees-Rays series. That deciding game, Game 5 is today at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Growing up in New Orleans, Mark, I mean,
Yes.
that's a big, LSU's right there.
Oh, yeah. I went there.
I mean, were you a fan? College football fan?
The football games it was like the Coliseum. It was the Romans. It was unbelievable. The energy, the music, the band, you could hear the crack of the helmets. It was, and we were all, half in the bag.
Yeah.
So it was tailgating. There was nothing better. Fun story. We used to line, because they would check your pockets and your bags for booze. We would line our stomachs with Ziplocs of whiskey. And, of course, we got caught. And then my friend, he was like a wild man. We got caught, and then a fight broke out kind of in the underbelly of the stadium. So all the cops ran. My friend stole the whiskey back, and he stole the ticket book. You know, the book with all the the citations?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He stole that. We walked around the campus going, hey, hot chick, you're under arrest for being sexy. Here you go. Hey, you dirty whore, you're under arrest for cleavage. We got a couple phone numbers.
Wow, Louisiana.
Yeah, good
You didn't
times.
find love that way, huh?
Nah, we got a handy.
Jumping back to baseball real quick, the LA Dodgers won the NLDS last night after 12-3 win over the San Diego Padres. Dodgers won their series 3-0. They'll begin the National League Championship Series with Atlanta on Monday because the Dodgers, just like the Dodgers, the Braves also swept their opponent, the Marlins, and they advanced to the NLCS. They won 7-0. Let's stay with some local stuff here real quick, Mark. We're a big sports fan. We got the Blues, obviously, champions last year. One way or the other, the year-long saga of Alex Pietrangelo and his hockey future will be settled today. Will the captain and star defenseman re-sign with the Blues and then in all likelihood close out his career with the only NHL team he's ever played for? We'll see. Or is he going to get a better offer? Now, I've seen a couple articles online. I've been trying to refresh and stay on top of this because I saw one or two saying, it looks like the Blues are discussing everything. As of last night, him and his whole team said, as of 11 a.m. today, they are expecting for him to be a free agent. I guess that is when the NHL free agency begins, 11 a.m. St. Louis time today. If history is any indication, I don't think it's going to happen, and he is a top name on the market. I saw one article saying the Devils are after him. There's this, there's that, but we have, an hour and a half here for negotiations to start and go down to the wire for the Blues.
Yeah, they flashed up on Channel 2 and said Pietrangelo to explore free agency.
Yeah, I think
maybe there's already been a decision made. I don't know.
That's what everything is pointing to. Real quick, there's a whole bunch of information about all the sports, everything being down, NHL being down, NBA being down. Ratings are down.
Hockey, golf, everything.
Ratings are down across the board, and it's because they're all stacked on each other. We're talking. We're used to having the NBA in June. We're used to having this in October. We're used to having this here.
Everybody was so pining for sports to come back, and you think everybody's going to watch, and they did for like the first week or two.
Yeah,
and then everything started up at the same time.
Yeah, and people want to think it's politics, and people want to think it's this and that. No, everything is down across the board. It's because nobody has this kind of time for this kind of sports.
So you
especially
gotta pick.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
and all the COVID stuff has split up people's routines and mannerisms as well.
Do you think that's why the PBA isn't getting many views right now?
Yes, nobody's watching bowling.
Jeff, you got something going on this afternoon, right?
Oh, yeah, just actually when the show ends today at 10, myself and Jamie Rivers, former Blue Jamie Rivers, and Donnie Fandango of this particular program, we do a blues podcast called the Last Minute Blues Podcast. Danny Mac cannot make it at 101 today from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., so we're going to actually do the show live over there on 101 from 10 to 11.
Final countdown
Very excited
into
about that.
NHL free agency. I'm Moon, that's your sports, because everyone loves playing with balls, and what was the other one?
You are and I am. Who you think you are?
Who do you think you are? I am. That's it.
You are, I am.
I want to thank Mark Norman. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out. Second Timers Club member. Helium Comedy Club tonight.
Yes.
7:30, 10 o'clock. Watch his YouTube special, Out to Lunch, which already has 3.3 million views. What else we got going on?
I got a podcast, Tuesdays with Stories. I'm on Grindr. Hit me up. Twitter, Instagram. Queef it up and praise Allah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we appreciate having you, and as always,
thank you.
See him at Helium this weekend, 7:30, 10 o'clock tonight, tomorrow, 7:30 and 10 o'clock.
I'm going to go catch the free breakfast at the hotel.
Hey,
Smart
enjoy
man.
Continental.
You got that right, baby.
Better coffee than here.
Yeah, let's hope.